Mass filming, la 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 la. So one of the things that I want to talk about today is listening to your gut. That is a very difficult thing to do, to remind ourselves to trust our instincts and our intuition. I have recently had some very trying things come up with new involvements in my life, and listening to my gut and not understanding exactly what is being told to me. And especially because there are been such extreme flexes with it. And I want to talk about this a little bit because I think this also goes along with the concept of looking at signs, and pulling signs from the universe and really listening to ourselves and our intuition of what we know to be right and wrong. But sometimes I think it is easy to discount people when they say, well, I don't know what's right and wrong though. I'm very unsure. My brain and my negative thought patterns plays tricks on me. I can feel very anxious or, unmoored about stuff and be not certain at all in my decision. And if I lack certainty, does that therefore invalidate this decision? I think there is kind of this pressure in a lot of senses, especially in spiritual circles, to you with the major stuff in your life, like your life's purpose, your partner, you will know without a doubt, again, casting aside all doubts, which I don't believe is healthy, by your intuition and by your gut. There will be an inner knowing, tingling that oh, that idea is correct. This partner is actually the one for me. This is the job and the pursuit I should do. And this all by 100% feeling of joy and certainty and safety. So I'm going to use the idea of romantic partners here because I think this is very interesting, because when I was younger, I had a very good gut instinct when it came to romantic partners, in the sense of I knew immediately when I did not like somebody. And it was such a firm, distinctive thing. I remember being in middle school and all of my friends had partners in some way, shape, or form, partners. Nothing of any significance really, but girls at the time and guys had all held hands and gotten cute little Valentine chocolates and stuff, and I had not. The boy who had a crush on me, and I didn't really, I was like, I don't think so, but people kept telling me, well, you don't really know, give him a chance, you never know. And so he wanted to, a bunch of my little middle school friends and me were all hanging out near this park, the skate park, and he wanted to, hold my hand, and so I let him hold my hand. And very quickly, my whole body, as he was doing that thumb strokey thing, and I was just ugh, it was a full body, I don't want him touching me, I don't like this, I only do it for maybe a couple more minutes, and I was like, no, I'm gonna take my hand back, I don't want you touching me. And it was very clear, 12-year-old me was like, nah, I'm good. And I didn't then really pursue any sort of romantic interest with anybody else for a good 4 years after that, because I realized that I just was not in a place to pursue anything romantically until I felt that super gooey, crushy feeling. Then it wasn't worth it to me to even explore it. And then later on, I definitely did have that oh no, I was right about this. My instincts were totally right, because I did then later have had those giddy crushes, and the pheromones hit me and my hormones went through the roof, and I was like, nope, now I'm ready. Now someone's looking really cute. But then as you get older, society gets involved, right? And there are definitely times where you could get, say, triggered, something could just tingle at you the wrong way, and your gut, you feel like maybe your gut's telling you this is a bad situation. But then later you look back on it and it's not. I definitely have a sense of realizing that there are definitely times when my instincts are full on correct, but there are other times when I misinterpret a negative feeling or something just popping up in the back of my head, a doubt, as my gut reaction, my instincts, when actually it is a learned habit of protectiveness and securing myself from danger, because, well, previously, when I ignored a similar red flag signal, whatever, I got hurt. I now recognize, for example, when I'm dating, one of the things that gets me knowing whether or not I actually do like somebody is not the instant ooh, gut feeling of ick or ooh, you know, it's more of a, I'm curious about you. My curiosity is spiked and I want to know more. It's a much more subtle, quiet thing as opposed to like a stab in the gut one way or the other. And somehow I have, along the way in adulthood, gotten to the point where I think that negative feeling that slowly bubbles up is my general instinct and my reaction and my gut feeling. It is my intuition telling me something is wrong. And it's getting harder and harder at different times and different places where I go, is this my intuition or is this me thinking myself into a negative spiral about something? At first, I thought the solution was, well, what was the very first thing I felt or thought about something? Was the very first thing I thought excitement and like, you know, did I feel good about a thing? And then I overthought myself into negativity because, well, if I originally felt good about it, then that's the actual instinct. But that's not always good either, right? Because like some people I think have an idea of like the first impression is the most important. Sometimes this is true, but again, there's no absolutes. Because there have definitely been times where I've had the very first instinct, the very first glance at somebody spark something really good. And then later on you find out that no, that was bad. Anyone who's had a bad relationship romantically knows that, or even like a bad friend breakup. You're like, this is my person. They understand me on a different level. And then the betrayal comes or like a miscommunication. You're like, oh wow, actually we are at very different places in our lives. Not gonna work. You know, that could be because it's like, oh, at the time it was good and then it grew into something bad and toxic later, or, you know, maybe some people say it's because you ignored a red flag because you didn't listen to your gut, you suppressed it down, that's why. But I don't necessarily think that's always the case. I think sometimes our instinct and our gut feeling, our intuition is kind of like I said about like the curiosity and the dating, it's something that bubbles up. It is something that is quiet and assured. It is not a spike or an immediate like bing 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 warning sign reaction, whether it's a full speed ahead type of sign of like yes, good thing, or a warning sign. When it comes down to realizing what is a instinctual intuition thing to listen to that's very important versus I don't know, like a thought you've kind of shoved in on yourself, whether through doubt or positivity, you know, whether you're trying to like shove down the red flag so only the good things pop up, and so you hyper focus on all the good and ignore the bad, and or you hyper focus on all the bad and ignore the good, is what is my overall feeling generally about a situation, right? If I think it about when it comes to my job, do I generally feel empowered and good, or do I feel like I'm taken advantage of and underpaid and underappreciated? And do I 90% of the tasks do I enjoy, or are a lot of the tasks tedious and, you know, so draining? And do I like walk away from it time and time and time again when I'm in the silence of my own thoughts and feel like, oh, I just don't want to do that, you know? Same thing with friendships in a more platonic way, or even romantic relationships. Does my overall sense and feeling of them feel very good and positive? Do I look forward to contact from them? Do I get a little bit of giddiness when I see a notification from somebody, or if someone tries to reach out and make plans with me? Am I looking forward to those plans most of the time, even if, you know, some social like worries pop up, or if I'm suddenly like, no, but I'm comfy in my bed, I don't want to. But you enjoy that person, get out of the bed, go to the park, see them, you know what I mean? And that overall feeling, I find time and time again, bodily, feels like it's coming like from right here in my chest, like, which a lot of times I feel is that intuition feeling, right? When I'm feeling bad about something, when something feels off, it is not a one and done negative spike. It is something that it rears up and it goes, warning, 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 warning. Like, it will grow over time, like an alarm that starts quiet and gets louder till you actually get the fuck up. And I think it's also the same thing with positive things as well. It is a slow growing thing. It is something that bubbles up inside you. It's a slow boil, slow burn. It you'll feel bits of it. You'll feel that good positivity, and then over a while your instincts will keep building over time to show you that yes, good, this is a good feeling. And if your overall look at a situation makes you realize that like 90% of the time you're feeling that good stuff, then I think that's your intuition telling you like, yeah, this is a good way to go. As opposed to if you were constantly feeling negative and drained overall, not just in one instance, then that is your intuition telling you, nah, this is not good. Something about this is off. Even if you can't quite pinpoint why, something about this is not working. And at that point, I think it's also good to then narrow down if it's about a friendship, a partner, a job, a situation in general. Like, what exactly is it that you feel positive about? What exactly do you feel negative about? Is it just a simple thing with your job? Is it there's a certain task that you're told to do all the time that you hate and dread, while the rest of your job is actually pretty damn good and fulfilling and you don't have an issue with it? And is there a way you can mitigate that task? Maybe ask your supervisor, can someone else do it? Or is there a way to automate it so it's like not a thing? You know what I mean? Like, find a way to make it easier. Batch it all at once, like during a week, so then you don't have to continually keep revisiting the icky task. You know, look into different ways to fix it, so then maybe that overfeeling is eased because you can do all the fun things without like constantly worrying about a single task. But as you analyze it, if you look at it and you realize that like, oh no, I get the icky, subtle, slow feeling overall about all of these aspects of this job, partnership, whatever, then it's definitely time to make a more drastic change and lean towards something that, again, overall, when you think about it, when you experience it, when you dabble with it, gives you that good intuition feeling, that good gut feeling. And I think it's sometimes the reason we have the good and the bad and the gut, and, you know, we get to make mistakes and keep moving and going on, is because doubts are good at times to have. I feel like if something is really good for us, even when we doubt it, even when we take a step back from a moment, as long as we don't completely cut ourselves off from it, if we revisit it, maybe a little more cautiously, but maybe what else, we will see, oh, okay, I've now been reassured or reaffirmed that this is a good thing, that this isn't a negative, toxic thing. I think a lot of times of like, this is where the work part comes into so many things, and why it's important to not just take your first gut reaction as your intuition screaming that this is a bad thing. Sometimes we feel a bad gut reaction from, say, like a miscommunication, and if we just talked about it with the other person and realized, oh, that's not where they were coming from, that was just a simple miscommunication, that we were able to evolve, change our, you know, communication styles just a smidge to better fit each other, and now it hasn't happened again. Well, great. Now it's overall, again, 90% of the time, it's a damn good thing and a good relationship, and we can move forward. I think one of the reasons mental health is so freaking important and self-awareness is so important, and you have to have all these tools to look into yourself, is because it's not like they can't negative spiral us out of what our actual feelings about something are. We can overthink ourselves out of a good thing. We can push down all of the red flags in a situation, just hyper-focusing on the positive, and put ourselves again then in a bad situation. These things can't happen. I don't know. Anyway, comment down below. How do you guys tap better into your intuition or your gut reaction? I kind of feel like they're a little bit of two different things in a sense. I could even talk about that in a video if you're interested. Do you do a lot of meditations? Are you hyper focused on like how you feel in your body? Or are there certain things like journaling, or what else? What do y'all do to like make sure that you're actually listening to your intuition versus getting too much in your head about something? All of that in the comments down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.